What is going on, boys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going over everything you need to know for mining V3, aka the Glacite Tunnels, because a lot of news YouTubers have covered the tunnels, but they didn't cover it very well. They covered like some of the new content, but not what's good about it, what's the most efficient thing to be doing, what's the best heart of the mountain tree, stuff like that. So we'll be going over it in this video. Again, this is most likely not to have everything because I am on the alpha right now, and alpha can always get changes, especially because there's a new pet that has to do with fishing sea creatures here, and yet there's no new sea creatures here. But when it comes out on main, I will update everything in this video, and then I'll have a fully comprehensive mining guide coming out then, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But for now, let's get into what we know about the Glacite Tunnels. Before we get into the video, I do want to ask you guys to please scroll down and subscribe. We are going for 30k, and the YouTube rank, and every subscription helps me out immensely. I also stream at twitch.tv/Yadi, so make sure to check me out there. Let's get into the video. So starting off, the first thing you want to do is head all the way over to the palace, and then head out to the right. Down here on this bench, there will be an NPC named Dulin, or Dulin. You'll talk to him, he'll say, I'll make you a secret waypoint, go forge it, or a secret railroad pass. Go forge it, you'll head over to the forge, you'll go into item casting, and you will see this right here, the secret railroad pass, which requires a flawless ruby gemstone, 2 refined mithril, and 8 corleonite. It's not really that expensive, it's like, I don't know, 8 mil to make, maybe 6 mil to make, however much all that stuff costs. When you get it, you're going to take it back to Dulin. Talk to him again. He'll be like, oh, you should take it to the Ticket Master. And the Ticket Master is just found all the way down here, right next to the Great Ice Wall. You'll talk to him. You'll give him the thing, the secret railroad pass, and then you will have Glacite Tunnels unlocked. Otherwise, you can do /warp base camp. I already have it shortened to just /camp with SBE so I can warp. And you'll be greeted with this new area. This new area isn't very big. It's not as overwhelming as something like Dwarven Mines or Crystal Hollows. However, there's still a decent amount of stuff to note. First thing that we're going to go over is there is a system known as cold. It's very similar to heat in the magma fields, except it's cold that accumulates from being inside of the Glacite Tunnels. As it builds up, you'll start to lose movement speed, you'll start to lose mining speed, and I believe mining fortune. All you have to do to reset it is to head back to the campfire, and it will set it to 0. Other big changes would be Heart of the Mountain 10 is now definitely a thing. I actually had a video where I accidentally misspoke, and I said Heart of the Mountain 10 instead of Heart of the Mountain 7, and people were like, oh my god, Yadi, this video is 2 months old. How did you predict Heart of the Mountain 10? Well, I didn't. I just got lucky. But with this comes new perks, and I will slowly go over them, but also I'll talk about some of the things that I know to be decent. I'm still not sure what the best tree is. This is the tree I'm running right now just for mining speed boost, Seasoned Mine Man, and then it does this kind of weird hook. As we figure out the best Heart of the Mountain tree, I will update you guys, or I'll have it in my fully comprehensive mining guide. So as I'm making this video, they actually added a really nice quality of life change to the Heart of the Mountain. So now as you are upgrading your perks, you can hold shift and left click to add 10 levels, which is absolutely amazing. Instead of having to just spam click everything to upgrade it, this should go way faster. And also they added a change to the point where you did not have to have Great Explorer and Lonesome Miner to actually get these Mining Speed 2 and Mining Fortune 2 perks. You can actually go down from the top, which is the way it always should have been. And because of this, again, I still don't know exactly what the best tree is, but this looks like a very good tree, getting a lot of the perks that actually matter. Frozen Solid does not matter. Gifts from the Departed does not matter. These two, I don't believe, are better than just straight up mining speed boost when actually mining gemstones. And so it looks to be like this little square with the cross in the middle, except you're missing that corner, that corner, that corner, and that one right there. But in order to get tier 8, you need 210 Heart of the Mountain XP. Tier 9 is going to be 790k Heart of the Mountain XP. And Heart of the Mountain 10 is going to be 400k Heart of the Mountain XP. Although tier 10 isn't really that good in terms of perks. I don't believe so. Because as of right now, the glacial mineshaft or the glacite mineshaft that will spawn just from mining around the little areas that you can enter are kind of garbage. They're not really worth entering other than that one spot that has a fairy soul. But yeah, they're not really bad. So I'll explain the rest of the update first, and then we'll go over metas in a second, because I'm sure this is all very overwhelming. Along with Heart of the Mountain 10, there is also Peak of the Mountain 10. Tier 8 is going to get you a +3 base Glacite powder when mining Glacite and 150 Skyblock XP. This costs 1 million Glacite powder. Tier 9 is going to give you a 10% bonus chance for Glacite mineshafts to spawn, and that costs 1,250,000 Glacite powder. And level 10 is just going to give you 2 extra tokens of the mountain, which cost 1.5 million Glacite powder. Remember that Peak of the Mountain is not refundable. Moving on from the Heart of the Mountain, you can also head over to the left and talk to Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is an NPC that basically is going to allow you to start foraging the new pets. You have to get one of the fossils and give it to Dr. Stone, and then you have to have another bonus fossil, take it over to the forge, and then you will be able to craft the new pets. As of right now, none of the pets are very good. The only pet that actually seems relatively good is the penguin, first of all, but there's no sea creature, there's no bonus sea creatures in the Glacite Tunnels yet, as well as the mole pet, that is very, very good for Crystal Nucleus runs. And it seems like it's going to be a must-have for Crystal Nucleus runs. The rest of these are kind of garbage. The T-Rex doesn't really have a place in the meta. Ankylosaurus is still worse than G-Drag, even with the lifeline bonus, so it's not worth doing anything. The Goblin Pet's kind of garbage because you're never going to powder farm with this out. Spinosaurus doesn't really do much. So the rest of them don't really matter other than for Skyblock XP. Heading back over to Dr. Stone, in order to actually obtain those fossils, what you need to do is talk to Dr. Stone. You will get yourself a base chisel. This can be upgraded through different forage recipes into the perfect chisel. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to find yourself suspicious scrap. And the way to get suspicious scrap is when you're mining and you spawn one of those Glacite tunnels, you enter it and you mine around and you will just randomly drop suspicious scrap. You take this suspicious scrap back to the fossil excavator, put it in one side, and put your chisel in the other side, and you're basically playing a gacha game. You're RNG looking for any kind of treasure, but specifically for the fossils, there will be white fossil dust, and you will have to uncover the entirety of said fossil to be able to unlock it. I will actually show what they all look like on screen now. There is mole. One thing to note though is that the orientation of these fossils can change. I did not realize that, and it doesn't matter because it's on alpha, but I did end up missing one. So this would be a possible fossil here, which almost looks like... So I actually failed to fully uncover it because I'm just kind of stupid, but I would have gotten a mammoth fossil. If you don't fully uncover it, you actually get fossil dust, which you can use to exchange for more suspicious scrap for more chances. Fossil dust doesn't really matter in the slightest because you should get a decent amount of suspicious scrap just from mining in the Glacite Tunnels, or in the Glacite mine shafts, I should say. But once again, going over, there's mole, which is the claw fossil, and this is what it looks like to uncover. There is the mammoth, which is the tusk fossil. There is the goblin pet, which is the ugly fossil. There is the ankylosaurus pet, which is the clubbed fossil. There is the penguin pet, which is the webbed fossil. There is the T-Rex pet, which I had high hopes for, and unfortunately I don't anymore because he's not really that good, but that is the footprint fossil, as well as the Spinosaurus pet, which is kind of obviously the spine fossil. Once again, you do have to make sure you get 2 of each, one that you can actually give to Dr. Stone to keep in the research center, and then one that you can actually take over to the forge and forge into your new pet. Moving on to new gemstones and new collections. There are 3 new mining collections, notably Glacite, which holds the Frigid Husk Reforged Stone, which gives bonus mining speed and bonus fortune, as well as it grants 0.25 mining fortune for every 1 cold you have. I'm unsure how good this is. I don't know if this is actually going to be meta on your drill. I'm sure I'll find out when the update drops, and I will be able to update you guys, as well as the Glacite Amalgamation, which is used a lot in forge recipes, and there was a Glacite Golem pet, which is coming soon, which is not actually out. The other 2 collections would be Umber, which the only notable thing in the Umber collection would be the Umber Key, which you use refined umbers to craft, and then Umber Plates, which are used in forage recipes. Otherwise, they don't really do much. And it's kind of the same way for Tungsten, although Tungsten does have the cold resistance potion. In terms of new gemstones, there are 4 of them. One of them being over here being a black gemstone, which is going to be the Onyx gemstone. Onyx gives bonus crit damage. Onyx is actually only meta on Terror Armor and an LCM set because it only gives 12 crit damage versus the 16 strength. Jasper is still going to be king on anything else, as well as the Citrine gemstone, which gives bonus foraging fortune, the Peridot gemstone, which gives bonus farming fortune, and the Aquamarine gemstone, which I don't believe I have here, but that gives bonus sea creature chance. It's very, very good. Because of this, it's actually better to have Snowy on your Magma Lord now instead of Submerged, because you get so much sea creature chance just from Aquamarine gemstones. Now you may notice I have waypoints set up for all these different spots, and the reason why is because the best way to grind Glacite Powder and Heart of the Mountain XP is simply the commissions. You get 1,000 Glacite Powder per commission, I believe. No, I'm max Heart of the Mountain because it's alpha, but I believe you get 750 Heart of the Mountain XP per commission as well. And this is obviously going to be the fastest way to grind Heart of the Mountain XP once you're Heart of the Mountain 7 and have access to the Glacite Tunnels. The different commissions can be anything from obtain a suspicious scrap, discover a mine shaft, mine any of the new collections or new gemstones 1,500 worth, as well as looting 3 frozen corpses. This commission absolutely is terrible. It's not actually worth grinding this one, or I would say the suspicious scrap, just because it's more of an RNG element. But discovering mine shafts happens naturally. It's definitely something to go for, and then you can kind of bounce back and forth between these 2. I have these waypoints set up, number 1, so that I can learn the areas as they go, but also I can work camp and reset my cold, and then just be able to go back exactly where I need to go. Like I would head left because I need to head to Onyx. You can TP in the main tunnels, but when you go into a Glacite mine shaft, you can't actually TP anymore. And get all the way here, I can mine it, bam, done already, and then I need to do tungsten. So I can work back to camp because I know that there's tungsten towards the start, and I can just go ham over here. The longest mining commission I would say would actually be the Glacite. So like this, I just discovered a mineshaft portal, so let's enter it and let's go over mineshaft or Glacite mineshafts themselves. Each one is randomized. There are about 20 different Glacite mineshafts that you can get sent to. The ore you are actively mining heavily affects that type of mineshaft that you'll get sent to. For example, if you're mining Umber or if you're mining Sapphire right here, you have a much higher chance of getting sent to that kind of mineshaft. In terms of when choosing what mineshaft to send you to, if multiple mineshafts exist, there will be a 90% chance you get sent to a normal one, and a 10% chance you get sent to the crystallized version. They're not actually worth looting. The only thing worth about them is entering them in order to get the Glacite Bestiary, which is a new bestiary. It's all these glacial mobs are combined into one single bestiary. Actually, the admins decided to separate these guys out into 4 different ones, all capping out at 1k per, which is good. That means more Skyblock XP, and you don't actually have to farm any more mobs you would have had to farm before. Known as Glacite Maniacs, they have a chance to drop a Glacite Shard, which is basically this new Power Stone that gives defense as well as true defense, and it's kind of garbage. But as you cannot use abilities in here, this is also where you're going to find the corpses. Lapis corpses do not require a key to open. Those are the only ones worth actually grabbing. So that guy up there, but I need to figure out how to get up there first. The mineral armor ones require a tungsten key. The red armor ones require an umber key. And then the dark blue, like very blue corpse requires a skeleton key, which is a legendary key. And it takes, I believe it costs perfect plates to actually forge this. It is definitely not worth it, but they do give you powder as well as gemstones. But the powder really, it really is not worth it, other than if you're going for bestiary and you just see a lapis corpse, you might as well loot it, but it's not actually worth spending all of the refined umber and refined tungsten on actually making those keys. Ways to get out of the mineshaft is you can either go back to the start, wherever the start is, or you can just type /camp and warp out. Either one works. In terms of the mineshaft themselves, you can warp other players in within the first minute of you entering the mineshaft, after which you will be shut out. You cannot warp anybody in, and the mineshafts are around for about 10 minutes. You can also mine in the mineshafts. There are different perks that boost mining in the mineshafts. I'm not really sure if it's good for money. You can get Jasper mineshafts, that is one thing I know. Probably not worth your time. But yeah, moving on. It's again, these commissions are quite easy. Like I have Peridot over there, so I'm gonna run over here. You will eventually learn where everything is. I can actually link the SkyTills waypoints that I use for these in the description so that it can help you learn where everything is. Onyx is always going to be in the back left. Peridot is always on the right from spawn, but that's stuff you'll learn just from actually playing the update. It's not really something that's required, but if it's helpful for you guys, I will definitely leave my waypoints, or like the text you need to import for the waypoints, in the description. There are also new items that have gemstone slots. Notably, Fermento armor has gemstone slots, which would make sense because of the Peridot gemstone. The Tricapitator has a gemstone slot, which would make sense because of the Citrine gemstone, which boosts foraging fortune. But other than that, I don't think there's anything super notable about bonus gemstone slots, other than the fact that I think you can now put opals in combat gemstone slots. I don't, maybe that used to be a thing, but I remember somebody making fun of Zach for having opals in his dagger, or like at least talking about it. There are new talisman, such as the Dwarven Metal Talisman, which grants plus 25 mining speed when mining umber or tungsten, and this requires 4 umber plates and 4 tungsten plates to forge. It is an uncommon talisman. As well as an upgrade to the artifact of power called the Relic of Power, which allows you to harness the power of all 11 gemstones in the game, and all it costs is 1 Glacite Amalgamation. Glacite Amalgamations are basically just going to be a bunch of all of the new gemstones, as well as enchanted Glacite. So 5 Onyx, 5 Citrine, 5 Peridot, and 5 Aquamarine. It doesn't look that expensive to make at all. Another good thing to note about the update is I know that Devon's alloy has spiked by like 600 mil. It's like 1.4 bill to buy now, but you don't actually need it to participate in the update. It's going to be a slight bonus to anybody farming commissions, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. There's also a new drill part called the Tungsten Keychain. I don't think it's very good. I don't think anybody's going to use it. It looks like total garbage. It will I don't know if it actually chews through fuel or if it's just a bonus from mining, but it's definitely not worth sacrificing any of the other parts that are on your drill already. If this changes, or maybe I'm missing something about it, I will let you guys know and update you and tell you like, hey, this is actually something good to use. But as of right now, I don't believe it. In terms of other ways to reduce cold or slow cold down, other than just heading back to the campfire, there are such things that offer cold resistance. There are enchants that you can get from looting corpses, one of them called Ice Cold, which gives 0.5 cold resistance per level. Again, it's probably not worth something grinding. It's probably worth just buying off the bazaar like 10 days after the update comes out. There are also new equipment pieces, one of them called the Dwarven Hand Warmers, which requires a tungsten plate, a flawless jade, a flawless amber, and an umber plate. This does seem to be better than the glowstone gauntlet while you are inside of the Glacite Tunnels purely because of the cold resistance. However, I don't believe they are better if you're just mining gemstones in the Crystal Hollows. There's also something called the Pendant of Divan. It's very, very good, completely outclasses the Glistening Rift Necklace. I mean, 100 mining speed, 25 fortune, and 10 cold resistance is very good. As on top of that, you can throw perfect jade and amber gemstones in it. There is a tiered bonus called Legacy, which grants plus 0.25 pristine while inside the Glacite mineshafts. It actually is looking like the new Divan set is going to be applied to other pieces of equipment for your other slots, not the actual Divan armor pieces, because you can type /wiki and you can do that for Divan bracelet, Divan belt, Divan cloak, and they all show up as a quote-unquote link, which obviously isn't up yet. For the new blue armor that everybody's saying is going to be the new crazy armor, you can actually find it on the wiki as the Vanguard helmet. I don't think it's going to be like an actual wearable armor. I think the Divan set, especially because of Divan's drill, it's just going to be the end-all be-all, but the Vanguard set may be something crazy for cold resistance or something of that nature. Now, this does not seem associated with the Divan's armor itself. Maybe it will on release and it'll be like a 5 out of 5 type thing, or maybe they will eventually add more Divan equipment so that you'll have full Divan's equipment, full Divan's armor. Who knows? But it is very, very good. It requires a shattered locket, a perfect plate, and 10 Divan's fragments to forge. As of right now, I have no idea how to get a shattered locket. I don't, nobody's told me. I haven't been able to find it in any video, but I'm sure it's something that will become available if it's not available on alpha yet when it is released to main. There's also a new item called a portable campfire, which just don't use it. It's just really bad. It'll reduce your cold when you're in the tunnels, but the tunnels aren't large enough to the point where you can't just run back and TP back to where you were after just warping camp if it is affecting you. Another thing to go over with the actual chisels themselves is, again, they can be upgraded. You upgrade from the base to the reinforced chisel, which requires your regular chisel, 2 tungsten plates, 2 umber plates, and a bejeweled handle. And then it goes the Glacite chisel, which requires a mithril plate, 8 Glacite amalgamations, and a bejeweled handle, as well as a perfect chisel, which requires a perfect plate and a bejeweled handle. As of right now, the 4 new gemstones actually do give different bonuses to your chisel than they would on something normal. Like the Onyx gemstone gives a 100% chance to spawn an additional piece of treasure. Seems like garbage. The Citrine gemstone gives a 100% chance to highlight a piece of treasure upon starting the fossil excavator. Seems like garbage. The Peridot is plus 100% fossil dust, which is just going to get you more suspicious scrap. Again, seems like garbage. I think the best one is going to be the Aquamarine gemstone, because you basically get, it's almost like getting bonus clicks for the experimentation table, except you get bonus quote-unquote charges to actually use when you are going through the suspicious scrap. Other things to note that I may or may not have missed while going over other parts of the new update is that the new bestiary for the Glacite mobs is capped at 4K, and when you are in the Glacite tunnel, you get hurt with cold damage. When you hit a certain amount of cold damage, by the way, you automatically get warped out of this area, and then you can just warp back in. There is another enchant that you can get from looting corpses called Paleontologist, which gives an increased chance to find suspicious scrap when mining in the Glacite mineshafts by 2.5% per level, maxing out at 12.5%. You can also get crystals from the actual Glacite mineshafts themselves. Crystals can be Jasper, Citrine, Onyx are the 3 that I've seen. I'm not sure if you can get the other ones. I would assume you wouldn't be able to get the normal ones because obviously you have the Crystal Hollows for that. But for all of the new gemstones, it would make sense that you can find those crystals in the Glacite mineshaft themselves. That will probably be a big money maker when the update actually comes to main. Another cool thing to note is I was able to get level 451 on alpha, which is obviously amazing, and I was able to get to global ranking number 5, which obviously doesn't count because it's alpha, but 451 is super cool, and what that means is that there's 24 new levels available with the Glacite Tunnels when it inevitably comes out. And lastly, but not least, I do have a Tunnels prep list on things that you can prep from like before it comes out on the actual server. So in terms of the pendant, you're going to need a perfect amber and perfect jade when you inevitably obtain this. For the Secret Railroad Pass, you're going to need 8 Corleonite, 1 Flawless Ruby, and 2 Refined Mithril. For the Goblin Pet, you're going to need a Flawless Amber. For the Ankylosaurus Pet, you're going to need a Flawless Opal. For all the Chisels and the Chisel upgrades altogether, you're going to need 3 Bejeweled Handles and 2 Mithril Plates. For the Pendant of Devon, you're going to need 10 Devon Frags and a Mithril Plate. And for the Relic of Power, you're going to need to prep 4 Mithril Plates. This is just stuff that you can buy and have prepped on the actual server, and this is a good list for Iron Man to start grinding out before Mining V3 actually comes out. And with that, I believe I covered everything in the new update. If you do have any questions, please be sure to comment them down below. Hopefully I can update this as new metas develop and we actually refine how to play this update, but it seems pretty simple. Lots of cool new stuff. Again, an updated version will be in my fully comprehensive mining guide, which should come out not too much longer after the update drops officially. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I stream at twitch.tv/COGYadi, so check me out there. Join the Discord, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.